Hi guys, welcome back to a brand new Star Wars figure review. Next up for you today we're going to be taking a look at one of the figures a little bit further back in the Black Series wave as to what's come out now, but it was still quite a fairly recent figure in the collection, and that is of course this character here, the Rebel pilot Wedge Antilles. Before we take a proper look at him, we'll take a look at the packaging this one comes in. Now I usually don't keep the price tag on it, but this one I did keep because you can see there I've got this one for $13.99. It says sold as seen, and that's simply because I got the figure with damaged packaging. And as someone who opens their figures, that doesn't bother me too badly. So I bought this. I was able to get this one cheaper, so I could get it out of the packaging, have it on display. So, but apart from that, it's all pretty much the same. You got the little artwork on the side with the same packaging there, number 102 in the collection, and as well as the Gregory Titus artwork, which is highly reminiscent of a scene in A New Hope when we see him piloting an X-wing. And there's the bio there. So just pause the video once that zooms in, and you can have a read there. Now, I've just recently read on that because Hasbro have just unveiled their newest wave of the Black Series. That includes Beskar, Armor Mandalorian, and Admiral Akbar, and Zeb from the Rebels, and they're actually reissuing the entirety of the Ghost crew. There's a brand new packaging, so this packaging is finally going to be retiring, I think, is the sign of things, because I think it's something a lot of us Black Series collectors have wanted over the past few years now, is for this packaging to be retired and a new set to come in. We thought we were going to do it for the Last Jedi line, but that didn't happen, but it finally is happening now. We'll just put a picture there so you can see what the new packaging looks like. So that's the Mandalorian and Beskar armor. They'll be out as of August time, but for the time being with the current figures, we've still got this style of packaging, so you'll expect to see these in the next couple of reviews I'll be doing. So now we get onto the figure of Wedge, and this is a good figure, but there are bad things about it. I'll go for basically run down what it is, because this is actually the second time a Rebel pilot has been released in the Black Series, and in Episode 4 armour, of course, because Episode 4 gear. Sorry about the noise in the background there, there's a car outside. So that's basically because they've released a Luke Skywalker in the Black Series for Empire Strikes Back's 40th anniversary. I currently haven't been able to get myself a hold of a copy of the figure yet, probably just because of lockdown and that, and the Forbidden Planet being shut. I don't really order online too often, but I will leave a link to this one on Star Action Figures, because he is currently in stock at the time of filming this review. But basically, aside from that, the figure from the neck down is exactly the same as the Luke Skywalker, because that comes through, like, even to the point of the lightsaber hilt belt, which is just there underneath the pipe thing. I'll just lift it up so you can see it. That is there, and that is also present on the Luke Skywalker figure. So really, it has me thinking Hasbro just took the body design and then just changed the head and the helmet and gave him a blaster pistol, and that was about it, because this was the archive line which came out earlier in 2019, and this one came out towards the end. So I have a feeling Hasbro just sort of produced these together, because they literally are, except for the heads and the accessories, they are exactly the same. Because at the articulation point is a ball joint and hinge at the neck, ball hinge shoulders and elbows, ball hinge at the wrists, ball jointed torso, ball hinged hips, swivel thighs, double joint at the knees, and you've even got the weird swivel foot articulation there, as well as ball joints at the ankles. So yeah, because that was something that Luke had as well, was the swivel feet. That was when I realised it was really just a copy-paste. But aside from that, he was a good addition to the collection. I just wish they'd made it a bit more Wedge-related and not Luke-related. But aside from that, there's nothing much different. I'll just take the helmet off there. So they went with Wedge's helmet design, so which is at least a plus point. And the sculpt for Wedge with the photoreal face technology they've been doing to capture Dennis Lawson's face, the uncle of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor. So that's always a nice thing. But the facial sculpt is a good job. It does match Dennis Lawson in the movies pretty well, and it does look really good. And the helmet does fit nicely in the hands, so you can have him holding it with his blaster in the other hand. There you go, you can have him stood there, such as in that scene where they're briefing for the Battle of Endor, and you see him standing or sitting in the conference room on the Home One as they brief for the battle, and that all works out. But he also looks well with the helmet on too, and yeah, there he is with the helmet on. So this part of the part of the helmet is really good, and it does add to the satisfaction of having someone else, another pilot other than Luke, in the collection. I think a good one to start with was Wedge Antilles, but it does now have me thirsty for more Rebel pilots to get in their releases across the Black Series front, because we've had like literally, because the Luke was actually part of the very first wave of Black Series, and that was like 2013. It takes them 6 years to release another character who's a Rebel pilot. Like we've had Poe Dameron and Eloasti, but they're Resistance pilots, so it's not quite the same. So I just kind of think, because with Rogue One and the comic books all being out as well, I think we could get someone like, because Antok Merrick from Rogue One, he has the blue uniform, or we could go with someone from like episode 6. You have Arvel Crinyard from episode 6, who is the A-wing pilot who crashes into the Executor. Because we had characters like General Veers and Admiral Piet. I just think it would seem right to get other Rebel pilots in there, or just like Biggs as well, so you can have a full third attack run group, or even Porkins, the fan favourite. I think all of those need to be Black Series released across figures, and give them some chance in the limelight. Really, I'm just thinking through other ones, and it even comes to Resistance pilots. Like I said, we only ever had Poe Dameron and Eloasti, and they're pretty much exactly the same except for the heads. So I'm seeing, because I kind of want to see someone like Tally Lintra get a Black Series release. Like we've had her in the 3 3/4 inch, but not in a Black Series release, which is something I think would be good. Or like someone else from there. Like, and I'm just thinking through other characters as well. Like, cause we've had basic ones that just basic look pretty basic when you've got them as well. Because I had John Vander from episode 4 Gold Leader, who was in Rogue One as well. He's in the Black Series 3 3/4 inch. He was in the last wave. He's got basically a pretty basic face when you take the helmet off. But yeah, that's kind of what I got there. It kind of leaves me thirsty for more Black Series Rebel pilots. But Wedge is a good start. The only really downside is that it's basically from the neck down. It's just a copy paste of Luke pilot figure. So that's the only really complaint to give, is that they could have just made it more Wedge like and given it a few tiny little tweaks of different detail. But it's a good figure, and I think any fan of Rebel pilots and that should add it to collection. And of course, Wedge did pop up again in The Rise of Skywalker, albeit just a small cameo scene. But he has been in some of the new canon novels, such as Resistance Reborn, so there is plenty there. But he is a great figure, and he goes well with my episode 4 figures up on the shelf. See some full detail of him there, because I have him just on the top of the bookcase behind me, where I basically keep all my episode 4 figures, and I just figured he's an episode 4 character. He does well with the rest of them. But as I said, I kind of want to see more Rebel pilots in the 3 3/4 inch scale, whether they be Hoth ones or Yavin and Endor ones, or like I said, Antok Merrick or someone like that. It would be good, different, just something different. That's not the same. Because like I said, let's get these two figures together again. You look from the neck down and they are pretty much the same thing, aside from the fact that Luke has his lightsaber and a DL-44, while Wedge just has a basic blaster pistol. Like, that's the only real difference after the head. So yeah, but it's a good figure nonetheless. It's down there in Star Action Figures. As I said, he's currently in stock. You can give him a buy, and I should aim to get either the new pilot Luke or something else in the Black Series soon. So that'll be available, and there'll be definitely some more reviews of those coming in the near future. So there, just stick out for them. But do drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and I've got my links to my Facebook, Twitter and Instagram down there in the description, so you can go and give them a like, give them a follow, and keep you tuned for our next update. Remember, hit that notification bell to be updated for when I next do a review of a figure in either the Black Series or the Vintage Collection. I'll see you next time.